Daniel Rodriguez from Daniel Woodfire, or DR Woodfire.
Howdy, guys. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show here with us.
I still remember that hot day.
It was a hot day with crispy dogs, and
Yes.
yes, it was very dusty.
Oh yeah, it was. It
But
still
it
hasn't
was a
changed.
good turnout. It was a
It's
good
still-
turnout.
Good turnout.
Yeah.
Still dusty.
So before we get started, obviously congratulations to you guys. It's yesterday. Obviously we were not here for it, under the weather, but we're here today to congratulate
Hey,
you guys
that's all that
on
matters.
your anniversary.
Thank you.
Technically, it's still the party's here.
Technically, still.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
we're
still
doing it
here.
starting it up here.
According to my friends that were here, it sounds like they had a good time. So,
Just too much of a good time.
with the band, joining the band,
Yes.
part of the band. So you know who you are.
Yes, and
Oh my gosh, he's your friend too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know
actually
that.
grew up together in since high school, freshman year,
Wow.
and we've all kind of stayed connected
yeah.
Oh, wow.
since then. So
And you know his dad too, right?
correct, yes.
You know his dad, yeah.
And through it's kind of funny because a lot of people that work in the railroads, their sons went to Holy Cross,
Oh,
which is where I went to
okay.
high school. So I know a lot of them. So
Yeah.
it kind of comes and goes kind of
Yeah,
thing, you
yeah.
know. So it's kind of cool. It's a small world, you say.
It is
Small
a
world.
small world.
San Antonio is a big city, but you meet everybody.
Yeah, it has a
Exactly, yeah.
small city vibes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's even funny because his friend's wife works for the Roy's mom.
Oh,
I
you know
found that out
what?
last
yeah,
night.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
did hear about that.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
he was
that's
like, "Oh
crazy.
crap,
Where it's like,
They
nah,
found me.
He's like, now I gotta be on my good behavior.
I need to behave now."
But then you got a
Shit.
tie on last night.
So yeah, we normally start the show kind of just going off what we did over the weekend. So we'll let you go first since you're our guest.
So this past weekend, on this past week, I would say toward the end of the week, we had a catering with the United Way. We do a lot with United Way. The last, I want to say last 3 years we've been with them.
Wow.
They kind of call us up and say we'd like you to cater a certain event and things like that. And we've never let them down. We've always done something unique, something different. This past weekend, they wanted it more of a tailgate kind of style party. So we made our homemade chili. We made with our beans.
Oh,
And
Championship
we
beans.
did, we did our pulled pork, which is one of our signatures that we're known for. And we had some. So there was two options. They asked for kolaches. Growing up here in San Antonio, kolaches, I think we all knew were like pigs in a blanket.
yeah.
So my wife, they're Czech and German, and them, according to them, a kolache is like the fruit with like the cherry and the cream cheese or the strawberry and whatever, this and that. So being with her the last several years, she's never wrong. So
The
we
way it should be.
basically said that in my head now I've known to have kolaches as the fruit.
Huh.
So according to these people, they wanted kolaches for their event. So I thought, awesome, cool, like we can do pecan, we can do strawberry, we can do all these cool things. And kolache is not an easy thing to make. You got to make them
Right.
several days in advance. You got to let the dough rise and everything like that. And any German Czech would tell you the same thing. It's not the hardest thing. It's not the easiest thing to do. And so at the last minute, they had told me that that's not what they wanted. That they wanted pigs in a blanket, which is kolaches to them, and it kind of threw me off. So we ended up throwing all of it together and having like boudin, what they call kolaches, which was a pig in a blanket,
Yeah.
sausage, with jalapeno and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did it so we did a Tex-Mex style with the little style of the Czech and everything. So
Wow.
what ended up being like something just small, simple kind of catering ended up being something way bigger than what we thought.
Right.
And it caught everybody off guard because all these Hispanics were like, "What are these? These are the best things ever." Especially because the ones with the pecans, they'd never had them before. We
Yeah.
roast the pecans in them, so it just gives a different
wow.
flavor to it. With if you had them before, the bake, it's soft, tender, sweet, and then you have that roast pecan into it. It's even better.
That sounds
So
amazing.
now I think we found another niche in
Yeah.
our deal that people are going to be asking for. So
Yeah, you're gonna open up panaderia
Now because
now.
of that, are you
bad.
kind of like, fuck, man,
And-
I gotta do this?
and unfortunately, we would have brought some with us, but
What did we
know,
do?
But we, unfortunately, with the way I wasn't feeling the last couple of days, I was not able to, once we do one catering, I've come to find out that I need to recover a couple of days before I
Right.
can go on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and
That'll
it's
work.
not because I'm hungover or anything like that. It's just got something going on. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Other than that, hopefully the next podcast we do, we can have some for you guys and everything.
Whoa.
So.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
It'd be a
when
brunch special.
I was gonna say if not, when Bean Bash returns, when it returns eventually, you can bring them for.
And I was hoping to
bring
bring
them out
the.
to sell.
I was hoping to bring the title to have it with us, but my wife did not want to bring it because she feels that it sits perfectly good on the wall. It's kind of like a
Looks
Notre Dame
better
thing.
there.
You go and slap it every day, make your day get going for the rest of
He's
the
like,
day.
I'm gonna make
So
a beans today.
That's
There you go.
funny.
Make it beans today.
It's a good day.
But
That's what we like to hear.
Going back to the whole calling those things kolaches, I'm from the valley, so growing up over there, I always called them pigs in a blanket. And so coming over here, he kind of had to be like, they're not called pigs in a blanket, they're called kolaches. And I was like, oh,
That's
what
exactly
the
how
fuck?
it
Like,
sounds,
what's the
too.
difference? Jeez.
That's the exact same thing. I got, but it was a lot worse coming from a German Czech. When you got yelled at in German, it's like,
You don't
know what's coming
understand
at
why.
you.
I heard that the German language is very angry. Like, they talk very angrily.
Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, direct.
I mean, just look at her. I mean, just right there. She looks all sweet and smiling, but right, I mean, pretty
She
sure
does look very
she gives
sweet.
she gives that little grita, and you're like, ooh. I say grita, but
You better
something
wa-
else in Czech.
You better watch what she
Bro.
say. She's gonna come at you at the house later.
And of course, Dom's back with us today for this
Yeah, it's
one-off
a big
episode.
thing. It's been like 2 shows. 2
Yes.
shows.
So yeah,
It's been hard being away.
Yeah, he changed his schedule now, so he's not with us. So,
Yeah.
but he got sick after the party yesterday, so he didn't go to work.
Very sick. He's still recovering.
Worker podcast.
Yeah.
Priorities.
But
It's okay. It's all in good fun. I always love coming here because not only are we like helping out the San Antonio area, but we're also helping out people, businesses, and everything, bringing them on here because people now know that you exist
Yep.
and that you're there
right about
when
that.
they need them.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Been waiting on it.
And
Yeah.
we know how y'all's weekend went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
it was busy all the way up to it, but it was
very
it was
busy.
fun.
A lot of shaking hands, kissing babies, all
Yes.
that.
Yes,
They brought
I
babies.
did way too much of that. Yeah, even
You
since-
mean those drinks?
I've been working busy nonstop like the whole week, and I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
shut this off so it doesn't go. Yeah, Monday I interviewed Angel Cinturon at Squeezers.
I
Shout out
know
to
about that.
Squeezers. If you want some freshly pressed juice that's bomb and healthy for you, Squeezers is the way to go. I'm going there right after this.
It's down the
It's
street.
right down the street across from Bar America.
So we bring our own vodka?
Well, I mean, if you want. So
You
you can get it.
can.
It's cool because they put them in like little like Capri Sun pouches.
Oh,
And then you can like put the
whoa.
straw,
That's
or
really
you can
cool.
buy the mason jars.
Oh,
And then if you
wow.
take it back, they give you $2 off that
not
size
bad.
when you go back. So it's pretty cool. And
Just
then,
like Bill Miller's with the tins.
yeah, and then
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if you go during happy hour, then it's actually $4 off because they take $2 off for happy hour. And then if you bring your own cup, it's another $2, so you get $4 off.
Wow.
So like the 16
Catch.
ounce one would bring it down to
Want some juice now?
like $3 because it's like 6 for the jar.
Wow.
Not bad.
So
Dang.
or $2,
Yeah.
yeah, $2. And it was really good. They had a black cherry lemonade, which is the one that I really like.
Like
Okay.
cherry lemonade.
So it's black cherries, and then no, I'm sorry, not black cherry, black grape lemonade. I've never heard of black grapes.
Well, I mean,
Black
grapes are
I've heard
very
of
good.
green.
Yeah, I've never heard of them, and I tried it, and it's amazing. It's pretty good. They also have like watermelon lemonade, and then they do like the regular like wheat, grass juices and
So
stuff like
protein.
that.
Grass
protein.
Wink,
Jesus.
wink. Hey, shout out to Natural Heights, our other sponsor.
Yes, Natural Heights CBD. Yeah, and the folks at Squeezers are great too. So it was pretty good. They stayed in McAllen for a little bit, and they were telling me the story, which is pretty cool. So his wife's brother used to sell fruit out there, and then like when he was done, he didn't know what to do with them. So he was trying to sell them to juicers, but like nobody would buy them. So they're like, well, he was a coach, and he's like, well, I kind of would like people down here to drink healthier stuff than like sodas and stuff. So it's like, well, let me buy them and make the juice. So then I guess they started there, and then they moved back to San Antonio. So they reopened up here, and they're like, well, we like it because it kind of makes it less intimidating than being like up in the north side or all those preppy places. So that way you can like try it, but you don't have to feel like, oh, well, I'm up here with all the goody two shoes. So that's why they did
Yeah.
it. And then like it's a nice little environment though. Yeah, we kind of want to like kind of get away from that stigma of like, oh, well, you're either like an uptight person or like up in the north side to be juicy, and you can't just like get juice. And he's all.
But surprisingly, somebody from the north side will come to the south side
just to get the
try
juice.
it, and then take it with them and
Yes.
try to open up something like that and make it the next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to them.
It's
and
all
then-
happened.
right. And then on what did we do Thursday? Nothing. Oh, Thursday went to
Thursday
Kanye
you
night.
went to
I went to
Kanye
Kanye
night.
night. That was great.
Kanye.
At Paper
Where the
Tiger.
old Kanye at?
At Paper Tiger, that was pretty cool. We met a bunch of good people, did vintage clothing and stuff, so it was pretty good, fun. Roy was out there with me, so I did some interviews with him. I was helping him out.
Nice.
And then Friday, we went to the Lost Cajun.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
found the Cajun.
Oh my gosh, that was so
Have
good.
you ever been to Lost Cajun?
No, I've never been.
It's off 281 in Bitters. It's
I'll have to
really
check that
good.
out.
Yeah, they have catfish etouffee,
Oh,
and that was amazing.
Yeah,
so it's kind
gumbo,
of like, New
seafood,
Orleans
and
style food?
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay.
And then
bananas Foster
Yeah.
to die for.
yeah, they're gonna start bringing Bananas Foster in. This is like an off menu thing, but they make it tableside.
Gotcha.
So they go and they bring the whole burner and the pan and they make it there.
Flambe
They
style.
flambe it and everything. It was amazing.
Mhm.
And that video comes out Wednesday. And then Friday.
You'll get hungry watching it.
Friday we just chilled out and ran around with our heads cut off. Getting ready for Saturday.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
So
and
many
then Saturday we
pictures.
filmed a Mil Spec Auto. Alyssa,
Mm-hmm.
she owns Mil Spec Auto with her boyfriend, and he's the mechanic behind the scenes, and she kind of does the marketing and stuff like that. So it was really nice just getting to know them.
Local
and-
businesses.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're having a 1-year anniversary party, October the 12th.
Whoa.
So
Yes.
Mhm.
Spurs Jesus is gonna be out there. They worked on Spurs
Yeah.
Jesus' car.
What?
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah,
here
they
last
did.
night?
No, he wasn't here.
He wasn't here last night.
oh yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't.
There was a guy that looked like him.
I was gonna say there's a guy outside right now that looks like him.
Yeah. And then of course Saturday after that I went to the influencers event for Southway Ford. Shout out to Southway Ford.
Southway
Um,
Ford.
I did see that. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like when you
We were trying to drive that Bullet Mustang, but they wouldn't let us.
that's what it was, the bullet Mustang.
we need you
Yeah.
to sign this and.
Well, because it's
gotta
a
scratch
special
on it.
edition, and there's only like 3 here, so we can't have y'all drive home. And we're like,
Wow.
they're all, we can turn it on.
Lame.
So if y'all want, you can sit inside and we can turn it on.
Hey.
And S.A. Munchies was like, yeah, turn it on. So they were in there and he was revving it up.
Oh.
They're like, okay, but we got to drive the 2020 Expeditions, which were pretty nice.
Mhm. Roomy, I've
Oh,
heard.
expeditions.
Yeah. So those were nice. We were trying not to die. We had a good time. And then our party. You
Yeah, and then our
just,
party.
Just a little party. Nothing
Mhm.
big.
Nothing big.
Nothing big. It was great.
Foot traffic.
Yeah, it was great because we had a big old banner, like a 7-foot banner, backdrop, and like people were just like walking in. Like there was somebody that was at the bar. He's like, "Oh, cool," and he just like sprinted over there to take pictures.
Yeah.
He was like the first one, and
I thought you said he was gonna go right through it. I was like,
No.
whoa.
No.
no. And then he was like, supposedly she said that he was taking like 10 or 20 selfies. He was just there like
Yeah,
the
by
Gucci
himself,
selfies.
just
Yeah.
like taking pictures with
Is it still up?
himself.
Is it
No,
still
we
up?
took
No.
we
Nah,
took it
yeah,
down.
we took everything
Yeah.
down.
Should have kept it up. See what happened all day today.
I
Right.
should've, but-
They're
A lot of
gonna-
Everybody,
marketing.
what's
everybody
this
started
party?
signing it.
What's this party you
This
speak
guy, he was like, I see all our decorating looks really nice, but y'all gonna be here to take it down. I was like, yes, I promise we're gonna be here to take it down. Damn it.
For I was doing that. Killing my vibe, man.
of? Yeah, it was great.
Well, technically, he didn't say when to take it down.
Right, that's true.
Oh shit, that's true. I should
We
just
came
kept
back
it up.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had San Quimas coming in clutch and and pretty much
Good
DJed
little
the whole
mix.
night.
Yeah.
He was the guy who DJ'd at our bean bash, so
Okay, yeah.
he came in at the
Yeah.
last minute. But everybody had a blast. Everybody, I was like at the bar and people were like, "Do you have a card for him? I have a quinceañera coming up and I need him."
There you go.
They were like, "Okay," so I got him like 2-3 different people. Like they're gonna book him now.
That's how it works.
And then
Yeah.
of course the guy ahead was closing out the show.
Whoop whoop.
What a
Yeah.
blast!
Yeah.
It
Good.
was a good time.
Yeah, it was really
Always
fun.
a party with those guys.
Yeah,
It is.
and like I said, he was just. They were like, they had the little thing. They're like, "We need somebody to fill in," and Carl was like, "I'll do it."
he
did the
You
first
mean
time.
anonymous?
And then the second time they were like, "We need somebody else," and everybody started chanting his name. He's like, "All right, I guess I'll go do it again."
He's
like,
somewhere
"That's
around here. I know that.
And then, yeah, he said he was gonna come in.
Oh, yeah, I know he was doing, was it Sokovia?
Sokovia? Yeah.
This
Yeah.
morning. So he was going to ride his bike over here. We were supposed to go bike riding this morning, but I was under the weather. So I just basically said, I'll meet you here. So
Yeah.
But,
Nice.
the way he rides, he's probably still on his motions here.
First mile. And then, yeah, and then I know he like was talking to them because he's gonna book him for a birthday or something in November.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's
So-
cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, we actually did a private event with them it was actually Piñata protest.
Yeah.
So it was a whole group, and
okay.
we actually went to a. It was like during Fiesta, and somebody asked us to do like a private catering.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, all right, cool. And they said, we're gonna have a private band. We're gonna have this and this and this. And we thought it was all right, cool. And we were out there. We had a good time. We had turkey legs. We had barbacoa. Our wontons that we're known for and everything.
Dang, that sounds
And
good.
Wait, barbacoa wonton?
Yes, we
barbacoa
keep
wontons,
missing them.
That's one of
Yeah,
our
this is-
signatures.
Whoa.
So what we do is we smoke our barbacoa, and then in the pit, and then basically make our wontons. Instead of enclosing them, we leave it open, and so you can kind of like decorate it. We throw a little pico de gallo on it. We make an avocado salsa that we throw in a little fresca cheese. So it's kind of like your Sunday.
Gosh.
And this is the
Sunday
first I've heard of
memories.
this.
Oh, for real? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I tell you all the
gentleman was
time.
always like always.
Lies. You always yell.
Well, no, the time that we were supposed to go was when you were doing the
Other
the-
thing.
no, yeah,
That
you were
thing.
doing that.
That thing.
You were
You're
doing the
doing
1 year.
that
You were doing the
thing?
1 year
You know
for the
that
coffee
thing?
shop.
Yeah.
But that's when you were just you had gotten sick that day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've done so
It
many.
was like it was a while back. They were doing their 1 year anniversary.
Yeah,
so
it was
like-
the coffee cup.
the coffee cup. There you
Coffee
go.
cup was doing their anniversary.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, and he was gonna make them
she
there.
does those the first Sunday of every month, and so hopefully with the next couple months we're gonna get back into it and get out there and stuff. We did one recently, maybe about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, and what we did with that one was we did like a waffle, the waffle cone,
Oh.
and we did a fruit cup with all the fresh fruits and everything. Threw it in there with the fresh Cool Whip and a blueberry
Yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah.
And then a little chili limon on top of it. So it kind of had it was a mixture, of your flavors, but with a little
Dang.
picoso,
Wow.
So it was something different. We
Sweet
actually
and
sold
spicy.
out really quick. And it was kind of fun. We sold out within the first 40 minutes of everything we had. And we were kind of done for the day. And so at that point, we just kind of like closed shop and walked around and looked at everybody
Yeah.
else's things. And I hate when that happens because, more people are showing up.
Right.
And we don't have product to show what we can do.
Right.
And but then at the same point, it's like people say, you sold out. Obviously, you're good at what you do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to take it.
I was just gonna tell you, isn't it cool when y'all like sell out early?
You made all your money.
It is, yeah, because I mean,
But
you
you're
go
like, I
in there
could've made
knowing
more.
how much you could have made more exactly.
Right.
But then you get to walk around and see everything else
Yeah.
that everybody else is doing, and then when they see you like walking around, they're like, "Oh, this guy's got nothing to do." Like,
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, we sold out," and they're like, "Oh,
I sold
That
one
just
thing.
means that they have to just catch you on the next
Exactly.
one. They have to come back.
so yeah, that's pretty cool." But with Piñata Protest, they played there, and we were like, "We've heard these guys before." And
Yeah.
I remember hearing them at the Pearl one night,
Yeah.
and just him with the accordion, man, just crazy, and.
Do you like them as Piñata Protest? Like, are you into
I think
their
I
music?
do. Yeah, I think so. I grew up more of a punk, rockabilly kind of style. So when I hear their
Takes
genre and how they play, sometimes it fits perfect with what I
Right.
listen to. So definitely.
I just think it's weird because it's a different type of genre in music, and you don't. At least for me, the people that are into it, I'm kind of like, what? Like, you're into this type of music? Like his dad. His dad's a perfect
Surprised.
example. His dad loves Piñata Protest, and I'm like, what? Like,
He's more of the
never
old
see you as, like,
school
a
type
rock
of-
person,
I don't know.
and he's like, oh yeah, I love them. They're awesome.
Yeah, he's always like, I want to go, but I don't like the people that are like the type of people that go. He's like, that's kind of why I don't go. So then when the Cajeros had performed at Traders Village a while back, I'm like, let's go. He's like, nah, it's gonna be the same type of people. I was like, come on and check it out. Then he's like, oh, these guys play badass. They're good. And then we told him like, we're getting them for the party. He's like, okay, I'll be there. And yeah, he was over there in the corner. He's over in
Yeah,
the
it's all
corner.
excited and everything. Like
Yeah,
a
he already
kid.
said that he's next year when I have my 50, if y'all are gonna get them and they're gonna play, you're gonna throw me a party. You're gonna throw me a
Oh my
surprise
God.
party and you're gonna get them to play. I was like, okay.
I'm a
I was like,
guess.
so you're gonna give, so you're gonna give me the surprise party money so I can
Surprise.
pay for it.
afford them.
Yeah, for real.
They're getting bigger as we speak of them.
Oh,
know.
yeah,
We're
I
gonna
know.
get popular,
they are.
yeah.
They
But,
are.
But yeah, so that was pretty much wrap of what we've done all weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty good time. So I know it was last week you were giving the speech there at the.
Yeah, we were. So we Texas Kidney Foundation had asked us. How it all started was I had said that I wanted to be a volunteer and help out any way I could. According to my health, there's only so many things I can do now.
Right.
So I try to like reach out to friends, people, and like, hey, you need anything? I can come out, help out, whatever. So I saw this thing at the foundation, and they said they needed some volunteers helping out. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, I'd like to volunteer and everything. So they emailed me back, got with me, and they said, we can have you doing the greeting, having greet people when they come in and everything like that. And I said, sure, not a problem. And so I told them right off the bat, I said, I have stage 5 kidney disease, which is pretty bad. And sometimes, I just need to take a break here and there if you're okay with that. So I just want to let y'all know, heads up. At that point, they had said maybe you should come be part of this. And I said, well, I plan on doing both, volunteering and being part of it and everything like that. Mm-hmm. At the bottom of our email, it has, catering owner, CEO, Meta. And they had asked me what kind of catering I did. And so I told them that we do pretty much catering of everything. But that with what my health has been giving me, that I actually make kidney option now, food options, basically. And they're very curious about this. And they said, we'd like you to come in for a taste test and, bring what you're thinking about cooking. So we ended up smoking some turkeys, and we ended up making a coleslaw with a vinegar apple sauce in it, and with fresh apples on top of it, and green beans that were fresh cut, that we snapped and seasoned our way, and got to the meeting. At first, it was only like one person there that I was going to talk to, and I thought, okay, weird. I made food for like 20 people, but
right,
okay.
Yeah.
And so I started talking to her and started telling her like my story. She started tearing up, and next thing I knew, like, more people started walking in, and I had the CEO, I had a president, I had everybody that was part of this company all in this now meeting, tasting my food and just freaking out about how they could not tell a difference from regular turkey to my turkey, and everything like that. So with it, they said, hey, we'd like you to go up here and speak. Tell your story about what you're going through and the changes you're doing with food.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of weird at the time that we thought about it. We're making food just so I could eat healthy.
Yeah.
It's very, everything that we all eat, obviously we can go out to a restaurant, this and that, and I don't have a problem going, anything like that. What I got to do is I got to look and see what I can eat and what I can't eat. And sometimes I got to substitute something, instead of like macaroni, I've got to do like a coleslaw, instead of a lot of salty product.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to switch it out with something else. And
there's a lot of salty products.
There's a lot of salty products. Yep. And luckily, being who I am, knowing a lot of chefs here in San Antonio, that when I go into restaurants, they know who I am, and they've adjusted my food for me. But, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a market for it. And I decided that after going to that meeting that we have something that, we can actually push.
Right.
And the Kidney Foundation actually said, we want to endorse you, and we want to make your company go to the next level because there's a market for this. And it's not really about me making the money or anything like that. It's really about pushing
the food,
the awareness, the food and everything that's out there. So,
I was going to say, you telling me this on how there's different foods that you have to eat and stuff like that. That's something that I didn't even know.
Exactly. So before all this, I was actually diabetic. And I grew up since maybe about the age 30, 31, I was diabetic. And it was always pre-diabetic. It was always like, you're diabetic, you're pre-diabetic. It was always the fight. They put me on medication, everything like that. And the medication that they put me on obviously was on a high dosage. Once I retired from veterinary medicine and went into the cafe business and into catering, I started eating healthier. I figured out a way of eating properly, eating more portions and things like that. And so still eating great food, You know, it's not taking anything away from any of the good foods.
Right.
They're out there. We were able to cook them and everything.
Yeah.
It's just that we have to have portions of them, you know? And after all of that, I was able to fight diabetes. So we fought the battle. I was no longer a diabetic, and you know, I was applauding it, happy and excited. And then a couple of months, we found out later that I had kidney disease. And when you find out you have kidney disease, it's a shocker because you know, there's different stages of it.
Right.
And there's a stage 1 where you could still kind of live your life and still enjoy whatever. Well, pretty much the life that I gave myself, I put myself in a stage 5, which was basically the worst of all the stages. So right now what we're looking for is for a living donor for a kidney transplant. And we do have it, by the way.
Good.
Next couple months, we'll be going to surgery and knocking this out, and I'll be living back to a normal life. But even when we get back to that normal life, I still plan on keeping the way I eat now,
Right.
Keeping it.
in the future,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to push it for everybody
Yeah.
else. And I'm not saying
great.
everybody else it's the perfect way, but there's just certain ways of, you know, for us in all the stages
Yeah.
on what to eat and everything. And if I could push it and open up a place, hopefully a cafe soon by the next following year, to where people can come in,
Yeah.
grab a meal, and sit down, enjoy with their family, and not even think twice about, can I have this, can I not have this?
Right. Yeah.
Just sitting there and thinking more about
Yeah.
what your day's about and everything like that, and walking out of there knowing that, you know, you had a good quality meal,
Yeah.
you know, and never even thought twice about guilty or anything,
Right.
or should I have took an extra medication for this or anything
Yeah.
like that. So, you know, and that. I mean,
I definitely can relate just because I'm type 2 diabetic as well.
okay.
So I'm diabetic, and I've been diabetic since probably about 2014. So I've been living with this forever and ever. And to be honest with you, like, I go through a phase where I'm like, yeah, I'm eating good and this is great. And then all of a sudden it just goes to shit, and I just don't care anymore.
Exactly.
Not because like I don't care, but it's kind of like man, like I just get mad, you know.
You
and-
want to enjoy.
Frustrated.
yeah, it's kind of like I'm at this age and I shouldn't be worrying about what I can and can't eat. I shouldn't be worrying about how I'm gonna feel and stuff like that.
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, I guess people is struggling with this type of thing. Is portion size probably the best advice that you can give for eating healthier? Just because at some point I feel like you don't have to give up everything that you eat. It's just everything is in moderation. Or what do you think? Is that like a good way to approach it? Or
I think moderation with portions.
yeah,
You know, and portions, people always think portions is like the size of a nickel or a dime or something like that. You know, portions could be the hand, your fist. You know, that is like a good sized portion, you know. And you play it down, and obviously you can say, oh, well, I'm going to have green beans. Well, green beans, you're thinking 4 or 5. No, you could actually have about 20 to 30 of them, you know. You can really enjoy your meal, you know. With kidney disease, the portions, it's you worry about any phosphorus, any salt intakes or anything like that. And so like any meats that we eat, obviously it's going to have phosphorus. So that's where the portion comes into play, you know,
Gotcha.
for us really. For diabetics, it was always because of the sugar intakes
Right, yeah.
and things like that, and you had to watch that. And so it's unfortunate because like when I was diabetic, I was always told to eat a certain way. And when I was in the hospital and I found out that, you know, I had kidney disease, and now all the things that I was used to eating as a diabetic were now out the door.
right,
It was totally now opposite. So like Splenda, which I was always told to,
use
you
as
know,
a
to
substitute.
use as a substitute as a sugar, now I can actually have real sugar because my kidney can't process Splenda.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah.
Like whole wheat breads and
more
things like that. They
chemicals.
always told us to eat that because we were
Right,
diabetics.
yeah.
With the kidney, they tell me that I'm supposed to eat whole wheat because my body can't process the grains and things.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So do you think making that lifestyle is what kind of, I guess, led to your kidney disease? Do you feel that way, or do you think that way?
Honestly, the kidney disease, it comes for different people in different ways. One of it being diabetes and high blood pressure are the two common for kidney. With mine, it became because of the high blood pressure, and we were always told I was diabetic, but I was never really told anything about the blood pressure. I was told I was like borderline and this and that, but I always like fought it and this and that.
Right.
But as my kidney started to basically fail me, the blood pressure started kicking in. And so it's like they said the body was not able to filter it out or anything like that, so the blood pressure became an issue. So the blood pressure hit me pretty dang hard. And the funny thing, how we all found this out was I had gone to my eye doctor, and my vision had changed like crazy. And she had told me, you need to go to an eye specialist because, there's no way your vision can go from here to here. And she goes, do you have high blood pressure? Are you diabetic? We had just fought the diabetes, so I knew I was not diabetic. I knew there was nothing wrong. I thought I was healthy. So I thought, you know what? My vision just changed because I'm healthy and I'm super strong. And I went to the specialist, and the specialist basically says, you have high blood pressure, which is affecting your eyes, which could cause you to go blind.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, weird. Right, and so they put me on some medication to take care of it and everything. We were in the peak of our busy time, which was around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everything like that. And during Thanksgiving, we had 20 orders that we had to deliver: turkeys, briskets, ribs, and everything, for Thanksgiving. And so we did our deliveries. We dropped off everything. We went with the family that evening, and that whole night I just was having a hard time breathing. And we thought it was because of the smoke and everything like that. And then I was pretty much told that I had walking pneumonia and this and that. And next thing I knew, they said I had blood work. Blood work was done. Blood work came back pretty low. And they said, we're going to send you a specialist. And immediately went to the specialist. And the specialist was like, you should not be here right now. And I said, I don't know what you're saying. She basically said you should be dead. And I said, okay. They kind of hits you like, wow. And so a friend of mine was with me, and I was rushed to the hospital and had 2 surgeries right off the bat, a whole bunch of tubes in me, and was brought to my bedroom with my family in there, and I had just gone through dialysis. First time going through dialysis, and it's really freaking out because it got rushed. Like, it really got rushed. And I remember going into the room and seeing my family in there and just kind of like thinking like, wow, like, wasn't supposed to be seeing you guys right now, and everything from there kind of changed. I mean, life was completely different. There was a moment in there that I said, I'd like to be alone. And music's always been my my go-to. When I cook, we were just talking about this morning. I'm telling my wife that there's different genres that I listen to, and everything puts me in a cooking mood.
Right.
And we were kind of laughing about it and whatever. And I ended up picking this night to just listen to the songs that basically brought me down. And I had a coming to Jesus moment, and basically at the end I just kind of said, that's it, we're done, that was enough pity, let's move on. The next day we put on some Motorhead and,
back to work.
We got ready to roll. Everybody that knew me and knows me knew that I was ready to roll. And I've had, growing up my whole life, I've had different battles, the diabetes. And I basically said, we're going to take it on. And we put on the heavy metal music, and we said, we're going to kick it in the ass. And we did. And I told everybody, we're going to kick this in the ass. And we're going to change the world. We're going to change it. And we're going to do it one day at a time. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. Didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew I needed to change my ways. I couldn't be on the downhill. I needed to be on the uphill. And we put up the up music. We went crazy, and we decided to, during Fiesta time, We went crazy, and we did our Fiesta medals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did
Saw those.
with a little bit of green
Great,
into
yeah.
it. Green
Yes.
is the honor of kidney awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you see me with green now, green has always been my color, and green and
That's my
purple.
favorite
And the
color.
funny thing is it was always because of the Hulk.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk has always been one of my favorite
That's his
since
favorite
I was a
too.
kid.
Yeah.
I even had the lunchbox. And my mom still has my lunchbox and everything like that. And I, even when I got older, even before the whole Marvel thing got big, I actually got a tattoo of the Hulk on the back of my arm, and it was just to represent who I was. This tough dude that ruled the world and was ready to take it on. So we took it on and everything. Funny thing about the Hulk. We've been watching the whole Marvel thing and whatever, and we saw the last episode and how he's got the glasses.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and he's a food guy now, and this and that, and he's very zen and everything.
You're like,
And
is that you?
Exactly. That's what everybody has. Everybody is like, dude, this is so you, because look at him. He has now found his inner peace and he's zen, and look, he makes small tacos.
It's like a small tacos.
And it's like, dude, this is not the way I looked at Hulk back in the day. But wow, how life has gone for me and how it's replicated in there. It just totally was. It's me,
Right.
And so anyway, we're going back to the kidney thing. We've decided to anything that we do, our hats, shirts, koozies, anything that we're gonna sell.
Yeah.
We're going to give majority back to the Kidney Foundation.
Oh wow.
And, the foundation itself, when they brought me in to talk and we did that thing for them, and they said, we want you to endorse. And I told them about the shirts, and I told them about this, like how I was bringing money in, and I was ready to give them a check and everything like that. And they were like, we don't want your money. We can make you money, but we can also do what people need to know, what you do.
Right.
What
yeah.
you're
That's
good
great.
at.
Yeah.
And they said, don't worry about the merchandise. That will sell on its own
Right.
whatsoever. But the product that you have out there, no one's doing it.
No.
And you need to do that
Yeah.
and just push it and, help those that need your help.
Yeah.
So
great.
a lot of the catering companies out there have reached out to me that have wanted to take part in it. And we've kind of said, yeah, definitely, we definitely would like to use you guys. People are thinking, well, they're trying to get into it the same way like you are. It's the next product, it's the next line of thing and whatever. Are you worried about it? No, not really. The
Yeah.
more the merrier, to be
Right,
honest
yeah.
with you. Because I think I can only do this for so long.
Right.
And my health was allowing me until we get a new kidney. I think right now, I'm limited to what I can do right now.
Right. Yeah.
And so doing things like this, podcasts, getting up in front of people, it's never something I've really been comfortable doing.
Right.
Anybody that knows me, I'm kind of getting nervous. At our own wedding, I was asked to do an announcement. And I got up there, and everybody
You're
was
like,
like, shut him up, man. He sounds drunk. The funny thing is, I had never drank the whole night, And we were at another event, and somebody was just like, talk to the mic, and I'm like, I am I was in the mic, and I guess I had a low voice and everything. And so one of my goals this year was to get on many try to speak as much as I could in front of a crowd,
Right.
and try to get comfortable as
Yeah.
much as I could doing this. And I'm hoping I'm doing better as we keep on going, because if somebody tells me I'm not, I just gotta stop.
But
Well, I think you're
Well, you're
improving.
doing pretty good right
Yeah.
now. I was to say.
It's actually comfortable. I get to sit down. Every time I got to do it, I got to stand up. The last one I had to do was they had me get up on a stage, and so I was already having a hard time, breathing. And I had to climb up the stage, get up there, and then the girls miking me up. And then finally, when I'm there, I'm like, ugh. And of course, the mic's on, so everybody hears me say this, and they're thinking oh, this guy doesn't even want to be here. And luckily, with a whole bunch of other kidney patients that knew what I was going through and everything.
Right, yeah.
But getting up and down that stage,
Yeah.
it's kind of a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
So
True.
at least sitting here being relaxed, I get to sit down and just kind of just be myself.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
And then kind of going back to the whole like about you or people trying to copy you, it's like, well, the fact that it's not out there and there's people that actually need that diet, like I wouldn't even see that being an issue anyway, because it's helping the people who actually need it.
Exactly.
That like
Exactly.
that they may be at level maybe 2 or 3 where they can use that to help them where they're not at a level 5, but
Exactly.
if they don't know it's there and you're the only one and they don't know about it,
And
like that's
I can't be there, then
exactly.
kind of unfortunate for them. But if somebody else can go out and do it, I definitely would.
Exactly. Now I just hope they don't take advantage of it and want to charge them almost double what a regular
Exactly.
meal is.
That's always been my thing. When I started catering business, I never wanted to get into it to hit it hard with the money or anything.
Right.
Obviously, you do want to make something out of it and everything like that. But my thing was always to do something that was not out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
people make different dishes and this and that, and we were always good at barbecuing. You know, and no one can, being at a young age, I always did it in college, and roommates and all that had to deal with my cooking and whatever.
Make it seem like it was a bad thing. I'm pretty sure they
It
ate real
wasn't
good.
a bad thing. No, we always had a good time. Being in College Station, they always closed the bars at 12. And so anybody that remembers us would know that right at 12 o'clock, they would close. But everybody knew that go to Danny's house and Charlie's house that we were going to have an after party. And so we always had
a
cakes.
cookout.
And we were always cooking. Exactly. We had 2 pits out there. We were always cooking. The bad thing about it is I say that was a bad thing, but my clothes always smelled.
Oh, yeah.
My apartment always smelled, and
Yeah.
everything like that. And we would be in class, and I just remember people being like,
It smells good.
yeah, I feel like having barbecue. And I'm all like, God, why does everybody always say that around me? And my wife at that time was girlfriend. She's like, dude, like, you smell like a pit. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. So it was kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. But I knew something.
That's
And,
Texas cologne.
Texas, exactly. And it was being San Antonio, like growing up with her family, German and Czech. They always had like their way of having barbecue plates. So us barbecue plates was rice and beans, potato
Right.
salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, basics,
and the
basics.
Czechs, they always had it with their green beans. They always had it with their sauerkraut. With the
Oh, yeah, sauerkraut. Yeah.
sauerkraut, and they always had like an apple pie or a pumpkin pie or a peach pie or something
I
like
like
that.
pie.
It was a cobbler, but it was their style. And when we came to San Antonio and we got started and everything like that with the catering business, I always wanted to have that Tex-Mex style, and I also wanted to add that German flavor to it. And so we started doing that, and it was kind of cool because we had a few caterings that we did, and we had one of them. The owner of the place, he was actually German, and he spoke German and everything like that. But you would never know it.
Yeah.
And we had made some German potatoes and everything, and made them the way I knew how to make them. And he came up to me at the end and he said, "How did you learn how to make those?" And I said, "Well, my wife's family taught me how to make them, and since then I kind of did my own thing with it, and did them." And he was like, "I felt like I was back in Germany. Like I had the best German potatoes ever in my life." And so every time we get asked to do a catering with this gentleman, that's what he always asks us for. And now I'm not even known as Mr. Rodriguez or Danny or DR Woodfire, nothing like that. It's always, "How's the German potatoes?" The German guy.
German guy.
German
But he
potato guy.
always goes, "How's your wife?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's doing well this night." And he always remembers her and everything about the German culture that she talks about and everything like that. Nothing about us or anything else that we cook, but our potatoes. So we have a niche for different ideas that we do, and I got to be grateful for the things that I put out there. You've given me chances to throw it out there.
Yes.
The crispy dogs. When we were in Fresca, we had Fresca, the bar, for a couple of months, less than a year, and it was me and a few other guys, and we got it going, and we had a good thing going.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I started getting sick, and so we had to pull away from it and everything. But I was able to be creative in there and make some dishes that, you know, people were kind of like, where the heck did you get this from? Yeah. And, you know, I was hoping we were going to be able to do a lot with that area, doing some brunches and things like that. And we had gone on to SA Live, and really we had gone to just go do a pitch for the bar.
Yeah.
You know, about the drinks and everything like that.
It wasn't
and
about that.
And it really, no, I was the only one that was able to go up there and like speak, you know. And at the time, you got to remember, I don't speak well. And so I took my food up there and some drinks and everything like that. And we had made some chicharrones.
Oh, man.
We made this really big one, and we made a chili con carne that we put on top of it.
Ooh.
And we did it like nachos.
Yeah.
And we broke it. I remember the chili flew everywhere. And, you know, the people there on the TV were just kind of like freaked out, like, oh shit. Like, but they started eating it, and they were just like, wow, like when you get this place going, man, we cannot wait to go. Unfortunately, you know, we never got it going, and it never happened. And one of my goals for next year is to have Fresca 2.0. Get it going, get it started, bring the same guys in again.
Yeah.
We had a good time, man, because we had like rockabilly punk music in Southtown.
Nice.
And if everybody knows Southtown, it's like hip hop. It's a different culture.
Yeah.
But people liked what we had going on.
Yeah.
There. It was different. It's like the guys that had their hot rods and their hippabilly, rockabilly style.
Yeah.
That was a spot for them. To just get their day started,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a Lone Star beer, you know, have yourself some crispy dogs, our version of it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, hey, my wife wants to go into Southtown. All right, cool. We knowing that you can go see all the different cultures that are in here and then walk right back to us and still enjoy our culture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And,
That sounds great.
We never tried doing anything different or anything like that, but it just seemed like we were the different guys out there.
Right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that place never, like, who bought it from us, I don't know what it is now, the burger joint or what it is. I can't know what they are now, but
Was it by? Oh, sorry. Where the apartments are at?
exactly, yeah.
Is it Burger Teca? Is it Burger Teca?
The patio? Yeah, what became the patio?
okay.
And so,
okay.
I don't know. I know that it's a hit and miss kind of thing, that they're open and they close and everything like that. But I don't know. I'd like to find a spot.
Wow, I didn't know it was going to be
something
there.
soon like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And try to open up something again and go from there.
I'm gonna say I think across the street's open.
Is it?
For
Yeah.
rent. It says for rent.
Well,
I'm
you
just
know what I mean.
saying.
Just saying.
Once I get the kidney and
Just
give me
saying,
2 months
we
of
get some
recovery.
brunch. We get some brunch and then come over to the podcast.
We can start doing podcasts over there too, you know.
Ooh, make a studio we're in.
Ooh.
Hint. Pub Sports number 2.
Hey.
Eee.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Right? Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll take our sound guy with us.
So, but what got? Well, okay, so before we move into anything else, but how did you end up starting like your catering business? Like, when did you decide? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
Your
Like-
wife's
like I said
laughing.
before,
This
so-
sounds like a funny story.
So in high school and college, I always had a passion for animals. And so it sounds kind of weird to start off with this, but I went into veterinary medicine, and I did it for 20 years, all throughout San Antonio, different clinics and this and that. I became a specialist in dentistry, and we got asked to go to different clinics and show the proper techniques and this and that. And we finally landed with one clinic, and it was Acorn Hill Animal Hospital, and they're still open. They do great business. I highly recommend them and everything like that. I take my animals to them, and the whole time that I would do this, I was started from the bottom, and I always got to the top, being an office manager,
Right.
general manager. That was always my goal. I felt like I could always start at the bottom, hire me at the bottom, and I'm going to run this show at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
And I did it when I was in College Station, did it in Waco when I was in college there, and here in San Antonio. And I finally got to the point where I was given a position to go run the show and help it become the next big thing. And that's what we did. My second passion in life was always cooking. So if you ever saw me doing something, I was always on the second hand. I was always cooking, always smoking things, always barbecuing and this and that. And then people started asking me to start cooking briskets for them, start cooking turkeys for them, you know, ribs and beans and rice and potato salad. And it was little things like that. And I decided after 20 years in veterinary medicine, it was time for me to say goodbye and follow my second passion. So my second passion being cooking, I never really had the intentions of going into catering. I had the intentions of just, as anybody, opening up a restaurant and going from there. Well, a cousin of mine owned SA Cafes, and he had a whole bunch of cafes around San Antonio. And he said, I'd like for you to come in, help me run the business. You have the business aspect of it, and we'll teach you how to cook. Not more so how to cook, but more so portions, how to feed the amounts and things like that. That was the problem I had the problem with. So growing up with my family, my grandmother and my mom, like I learned a lot of my Mexican culture cooking. My cowboy cooking came from being out in Waco and College Station with a whole bunch of hillbillies, you know. And, so I put the two of them together, and I started, you know, cooking that way. When I met my wife in college, obviously I said adding the German style to it. We started adding the kolaches and those different dishes into it. And I have a family that is into the culinary world, and we got with them. And so it's funny because they went to culinary school and everything like that. I never did, and I just had a knack for it. But that they would hire me to do dishes for them so they can use them in their meals. And so it was like they would cut my briskets up, throw some designs to it, make it all look badass, and you would see it, and I'm like, wow, that's my brisket on that plate. Like, wow, you know, that's a $20 plate when I was serving it for $10 over here.
I know, right? Just because it's pretty, it added more money to it.
It was all that prettiness, you know, and everything like that. So when I was in the cafe business, at the same thing, it was like I started just by, you know, washing dishes. And cutting up things, prepping and everything. So the next thing I know, I'm running the show. And I was the head sous chef, and I was running the show, and I was also running the catering business for them, and I was doing a good job. And a family member actually came and said, hey, have you ever thought about doing your own thing? You have this way of cooking. And he has his way of cooking. And people are never going to know your way of cooking because you're under him. And I said, never thought about it, but I've always wanted to own my own business. Like I said, a restaurant, everything like that. She said, why don't you think about doing a catering business? Small little caterings here and there. So with the respect to him, I got his blessing. He said, hey, go ahead and knock these out. Knock these little caterings out and whatever. What started off as little caterings here and there, we did a few pop-ups here and there with some chefs here of San Antonio, and some people were there that were just randomly there and tasted my food and were interested and brought me into their world and said, hey, we want you to cater this event, we want you to cater this event. And at that time we actually had everything going for the catering business, and so we got going. The last 2 years of the catering business, I'm not gonna lie, were struggle. But we were on the uprise. And like I said, everything was going well. I could not complain. I was actually excited because we were making money. I already saw we were getting ready to open up a business to open up a catering, not just a cafe business, but also have where people can come in and actually eat in there. And then slowly we're going to make it into a restaurant and everything like that. And then boom, the kidney disease happened. And it put a halt on everything. Has not stopped me from doing what I love. The thing with it is obviously I've got to slow down what I've done. But we've slowed down a little bit. I said my prayers, took my vitamins, and I've basically said it's not going to stop me. So I continue to do what I got to do. And
Always.
like I said, my goal is to open up another place.
Yeah.
Like I said, you gave me a hint about this place right here. You know, hopefully they'll hold it for 2 months for me. And then we can come in and start doing dishes that people would love to enjoy, you know?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Sounds
it's kind of a
great.
funny story. Like, you know, my wife laughs because it was always a funny how it all got started with it started with from saving animals
Yeah.
to lead to this.
From saving
I was
them
gonna
to eating them.
comment
saving
on
You
them
do the
that.
same thing from saving them from saving
I'm
them to
like, you
eating
know
them.
how to handle it, you know.
Yeah.
But,
that was great.
Going back to you had said how you didn't have any schooling, that it was just like a niche. That's what I'm starting to realize. That's a common thing for a lot of these chefs that have such successful restaurants, is that a lot of them didn't go to school to do this. A lot of them, it was just a niche and they love doing it and they love creating and just putting things together.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. And not to discredit the people that do go to school, but
Yeah.
You know-
like he said, you always mention that the people that go to school have they're so caught up on the technique and the education behind it that I think
So-
they kind of leave the creative side on the
Yeah,
You know,
they're so-
back burner.
I was blessed that I was able to go to college.
Yeah.
And I get to see both sides of it, because my side of the family, we grew up poor on the west side. We're West Siders,
With Saeed.
and
Sorry.
I should have gone to a certain high school where that high school was really, really bad at the time, you know, with the gangs and everything like that. And I was blessed to go to a private school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going to that private school, I had to take a bus. And in that bus, you see everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Going
yeah,
up and
for
down,
sure.
up and down.
Yeah.
And that's where Carlos and me met. Actually,
Oh,
we took the bus together because we were in school together, and his mom was in the base. So where the base started is where he got the bus, and it picked me up, and then we went to the school.
Yeah.
And we were there first thing in the morning, and you know, just like any guys, we're just a bunch of hoodlums, you know, whatever, and this and that, and you know. But it was fortunate that school was able to send me to a good university,
Right.
Yeah.
and you know, I made the best of it. You know, and they always say, whatever you do in life, whatever you put into it, you know, you become the best at it.
Yeah.
But I also seen the side of where those that did not go to college still make the best of it. And so I envy both, because I live in both worlds. You know, I got to go to college, I got to live that, and,
Yeah.
I got to pursue something in veterinary medicine that others would never have done.
Yeah.
But I also got to do something else as far as cooking that, where I should have gone to school and everything like that. But I never felt like I needed to go,
Yeah.
because I'm a live and learn kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
everything that I see, I can pick it up and then make the best of it. You know, you give me barbacoa, I'm gonna make it the best. You know, you give me the German food, I can make it better. You know, and it's not to say that everything that I make is
good mentality
the,
to
the
have.
greatest and everything like that. I mean, you probably had someone else's fried chicken that's better than mine, everything like that. But I guarantee you, you know, at least my name's in there.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that's always been my goal, is to have my name
That's
put
great.
in there.
For sure.
So the funny thing about the bean competition is, several years ago, when I was still in veterinary medicine, you know, and everything like that, there was a bean competition, and I wanted to be part of it because I knew I could make beans. I knew, you know, I
Yeah.
had the best beans and everything like that. And you had Johnny Rodriguez, and you had all the restaurants and everything like that, and I wanted to compete. And they said, "Oh, well, you can't because you don't have a restaurant, or you know, this and this and this."
Whack.
So years later, they had it again, and I wanted to join it. And I said, well, you know, I asked my cousin, hey, can we use the cafe, you know, as the name and everything? Sure, go ahead, you know, this and that. Oh, you're not an actual restaurant, y'all are just a
Oh my
cafe, and this and
gosh,
that.
Jesus.
Too many names.
Trying to keep greatness down.
So when the bean competition came with the 210 culture, I was like, I'm in it. Like, I'm sorry. And I want
No
all
matter
of
what,
them. I
damn
want
it.
all of them in it. I want every one of them. I threw a pitch out to all the chefs out
Wait, you're
there.
catering? You're in.
Exactly. I wanted all of them. I wanted anybody that said that they can make beans to go out
Yeah.
there and do it. And we had a good turnout and everything like that, and I won. And I held that title.
Yeah.
And I've held that title 2 years now.
Cheers.
And
Gonna be tears.
Gonna be
And,
tears, yeah.
and yeah, because it just came up on the memories that, you know, that
Right,
that
yeah.
were-
Yeah, I
just
saw
happened and
it.
everything like
Yeah.
that. And I told my wife, I was like, man, I wanted to bring the title, but obviously she didn't want me to. I wanted to put it down, and I wanted to have a throwdown. I wanted to go against somebody.
I was thinking about that when we were talking, because you know how Caesar does the bow throwdown?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about maybe we get Caesar on Fridays and do a bean throwdown and make him defend the belt.
Exactly. And
But
actually,
we'll
I'm
make
calling
it.
out.
But we'll make it.
Caesar, where you at?
But yeah, I'm thinking about doing that, and then we'll do like a set price for everyone to come in, and then we can do a portion of that to go to
Kidney
Kidney awareness, yeah.
Because I know they do it right now on Mondays, and that goes towards the
Kidney
culinary
beans.
school. Because he does a lot of the culinary chefs that work at the culinary school.
Yeah.
So portions of that goes to them.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Yeah,
reach
you
out
do
to
a
him.
50-50.
Yeah, that'd be do something great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
50-50.
and then we can have like the belt, like the belt, and then if you lose whatever, and then
I'll even throw a side bet. If he beats me, then I'll give a donation to them. And if I beat him, he has to give a donation to Texas Kidney Foundation.
Ease.
Where's,
But it's not just
is Caesar
Alright.
online right
Let's
now?
make
It's not
this
just
happen.
Caesar.
I know Caesar, you watching
Caesar,
Caesar?
where you at?
We're gonna make this happen,
We got
Caesar.
my buddy.
But you know, it's not
ABC.
just Caesar. I would say let's take on San Antonio.
Well, no,
Right.
that's what because that's what he does. He does with different different chefs. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe we can use his place and then just have different
Yeah.
chefs. Like,
Exactly. Okay.
either
Dr.
every other week,
Woodfire
either
catering
like
against the
every other
world.
week, or I mean, obviously with your schedule and your health.
Yeah.
But we can set up either once a
Well,
month
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And then we can try to do it that way, and then be 210 and Woodfire.
210
the
beans.
Woodfire bean
Yeah.
challenge.
Woodfire
Yeah, exactly.
catering
It'd be
versus San
fun.
Antonio.
Hey.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, and then that way we'll just like charge people, and then they all vote at the end, and that's how he does. Because that's how he
He's
decides.
like,
Because
ready.
everybody who comes in, they purchase the tacos, and then they base it. I think at the end, like they vote, and then that's how they decide who does
Yeah.
it.
It would be kind of cool. Yeah, like to do the beans would be one thing, but then also like throw up like a pop up, like something that is different. You
Yeah.
know,
Right,
something.
yeah.
When we go to barbecue competitions, they always had like an open pick, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we would always pick something different to do and stuff like that, and have something. So one of the things I've actually been playing with here recently was we do the wings, and we smoke them, and then I make a mole sauce, and you kind of like like you have like the dippings, whatever.
Yeah.
And we just douse them with the mole sauce, so you get that smoked flavor of the wings, but then with that mole sauce flavored into it.
Mole.
And then the
hard to
dipping
do
sauce was
mole.
actually the potatoes, mashed potatoes. Sounds weird, but it actually, when you do it, it actually gives that yum yum.
Wow.
So, yeah, that or the other thing we've been playing with is brisket and making brisket enchiladas.
Ooh.
Having
Down.
fun with that.
I'm in.
Down.
Right. So since we're a little over time here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
a
too
little
bad.
bit over.
That's fine.
It's all good.
Thankfully, Walking Proud's not on after
Yeah,
us today.
Walking
This would
So,
be too
Proud's
Yeah, because he would be
Continued.
like, he would be like, it's my turn.
so we're gonna just jump in and finish the show with our question of the day. So we always, just to get people online to collaborate with us, we always put a question of the day.
Yeah.
So today's question is a picture of, I call it a chalupa.
Is this, what do you call it? Tostada or chalupa?
Oh, I did see that today.
Yes.
That's
What
a
is it?
chalupa.
What?
So
From Sam.
save the explanation one for last,
Okay.
and then we'll run through the other comments. So somebody actually gave us the correct
Explanation.
answer to what that is and why it
Well,
is,
first
but-
let's get everybody else's answer.
Yeah, so I'll
you
get everybody
called
else's.
it a chalupa. You call it a
It's called
chalupa.
chalupa, yes.
I call it a tostada. What do you call
I
it?
call it a chalupa as well.
What?
Because that's why my mom called it.
Okay, so I
When she cooked
have
it.
Daniel Galindo saying chalupa, Bianca Ureste chalupa, Mandy Castellano chalupa, Lisa Garcia Ramirez chalupa,
See, you hear those last
Omar
names?
Davis tostada,
Hello,
Rick,
Davis.
Rick Renteria tostada. Shout out to Rick from these guys.
That guy.
Tina and Sam Rodriguez chalupa, Maria McKeown
McKeown?
chalupa.
I like that last name.
And Nicole Torres Tapatia. Oh, I hadn't
Tapatia.
heard of that one.
I like to put that on top of it.
Ivan Montoya Alonso Chalupa. The tostada is the shell that everything sits on. Duh.
Ah.
I have Felix Peña says, when I lived and grew up in Alice, it was a chalupa. When I moved down to the valley, it became a tostada. Yeah,
What?
from the
Oh,
valley.
it's like a
so-
cultural
What does
difference.
Taco Bell call it?
tostada.
Tostada?
Yeah.
Taco Bell has one?
Californian
Yeah,
Mexican.
tostada.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one. I
Yeah.
just know the
And
chalupa
then-
taco, and it's
Yeah,
like a
because they
taco.
do like a Dorito one, and then now they're making the one with the cheese now.
Yeah.
And stuff, so
Taco
But
Bell trying to
that's
kill
what-
us
whatever they call
slowly.
it, then that's what everybody thinks it is. And so what we grew up with and what Taco Bell thinks, that's two different things.
Well,
you know?
technically,
So
Oh my God.
Santos, the last one is Santos Lozanos said Chicanos Chalupas. So that's what
Chicano call them
he
chalupas.
said.
Yeah.
but technically,
Okay.
Taco Bell's right according
Yeah,
to
Taco Bell's
this
right.
guy's definition of
So
what they are.
I have Jerry Craig Dismuke said depends on the tortilla. He said the basic difference between a chalupa and a tostada is the type of tortilla. Chalupas are fried flour tortillas. Tostadas are baked corn tortillas. Both are served flat with various toppings. Chalupas take a little longer because you have to fry the flour tortillas in a skillet and until they are stiff. Corn tortillas for tostadas you can buy already baked flat. The packages say tostadas. So
Okay.
so that's why Taco Bell's chalupas are tacos and not tostadas.
yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Things that
now.
make you go,
Thanks for putting the
I know,
light on
right?
that, guy.
Yeah, so shout out to him because
Yeah, the boss.
we didn't know about that. So of course, like always, follow our Facebook page to
Yes.
find out what the question of the day is and comment, and you're on the
Yeah,
show.
give your opinion.
Simple as that. But thank you once again for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
And,
We appreciate
definitely-
it.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Always,
we will.
yeah.
And of course, thank you for informing us on all the different diets and stuff for the kidney disease, which is
Appreciate
something.
it.
And where can people find you as far as your social media handles and all
Yeah.
that stuff?
We're on Facebook under DR Woodfire DR Woodfire, Instagram under DR Woodfire also. Those are the two main two that we
Alright.
connect through.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how
Awesome.
you find us.
Nice. So,
So follow.
yes, follow and find out where he's going to be at next so you can try some of his delicious food.
Yes.
Definitely.
Exactly.
His
Of course.
award-winning beans.
Yes.
And
He has the belt to prove it.
and the throwdown's been called.
There you
yeah,
go.
that's been called.
Yes, so keep up on that.
Keep tuned in.
Yeah, keep tuned in on that one. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up the show here. Again, thank you to Southtown 101 for having us and Pub Sports for filming us on here.
Doing everything
Yes.
with us.
Yes, and of course Southside Craft Soda, which we were out of, which is why we didn't have any
are
this
out
time.
of booze.
We are waiting on that.
We're working on the refill. We'll have some back
The refill edition.
next episode. With that being said, thank you guys once again for
Thank
watching and
you.
tuning in. And like always, I'm G.
I'm Dom.
And Donna.
And of course, thank you, Daniel, for being on the show here
Thank
with
you
us
so
today.
much.
Appreciate it.
And with that being said, 210 Culture.
Bringing the best of 210 Nation.